Welcome to Real Talk with Sean, everybody. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Neesha, who is a recovering drug addict. And I want to thank you for joining me today, Neesha.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, you're welcome. How long have you been clean?
I got clean this last time I got clean, June 24th of 2024.
Oh, wow. So you're a year in, almost.
Mhm.
No, a
I
year in, actually.
Yeah, year in in June will be 2 years.
Okay, all right. So I have to tell you, with that being said, congratulations. And in my eyes, that makes you a very strong woman because not everybody does not, I don't care how many times it's been, not
Hmm.
everybody goes back before they either end up in jail or, of course, death. So I
Hmm.
think you're one strong woman to have made it this far being clean, whether it be this time or last time.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you define addiction?
Basically, in my opinion, it's just you're trying to escape. It's trying to escape reality.
Mm,
Like you're trying to whatever you got going on, like you don't want to deal with it. So but we're not thinking at the time, we're not thinking that, once the high come down, then we're gonna be thinking about it and things like that.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense, though. I do agree with that. A good definition is in reference to that. So when
Hmm.
you say escape reality, I can assume, or I'm going to assume that something happened to you, whether it be as an adult or childhood, that when you say you were trying to escape reality, is that the case with you?
Hmm. Yes.
All right. And with that, do you mind sharing like what you feel was that reality you were trying to escape?
Sure. So when I was younger, like elementary school, middle school age, my everybody in my family was an addict, in active addiction. My
Okay.
grandmother, she drank. My mother, she was crack addict. My stepfather was a crack addict, and my real father was in prison. So I was trying, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't start that young, at elementary, middle school age. I didn't start until I want to say I was about 17. My grandmother passed away in October 27th of 2011. And that's what really started it when I lost my grandmother.
Seeing those generations go through that, and not everybody's story is the same because I know some addicts who actually function, and their kids wouldn't have never known that their parent was in active addiction because they actually function. And then there are those that drug comes before everything.
Mhm.
If that were your case, where you saw the drugs came before everything throughout the generations, why do you feel you chose that as your reality escaper?
I don't even have a real answer for to be honest with you. Like, it seems like watching them, like, not that I wanted to, but it just seemed like everybody felt so good. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? When they was doing, my grandmother, she was drinking, she was, and she was happy, she was in the mood. Now my mom and my dad, that was a different story. But it just seemed like they was always their moods were better.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's something to me because I mean I can understand that because if you're doing that drug and it's putting you in a happier mood, and as we know with a lot of people when they don't have it, that's when you see the bad side. But when
Hmm.
they are in that moment of being high, it seems fun. So it's
Hmm.
suffice to say that, as you just said, so that was your reason for actually trying it in the first place, I'm assuming, because it
So
seemed like it was fun.
yeah, that's really all it was. Like so I started with Percocets.
Okay.
And we were just doing it for fun. Me and my best friend back then, we were just doing it for fun. We wasn't, we wasn't thinking about waking up sick or
Mhm.
having to need it every, you know what I mean, needing it every day or anything like that. We was just trying to have fun.
Right.
And that was, you know what I mean, her parents at the time, my best friend's parents, they were getting a prescription for Percocet.
Hmm.
So we were, being kids, being defiant, being teenagers, we was sneaking and just, oh, let's just see. And then it spiraled from there.
Wow. So something that was fun, and you saw the happy side, as you say, of it. What moment made you realize, okay, this is becoming a necessity now? Like if I don't have it, I'm feeling some kind of way.
Um, I would have to say it was about when it started with the Percocets, it was about maybe like a month or two afterwards
Um,
is when I started that's when it started like setting in like, hey, I something ain't right. Like I'm not we're not supposed to be feeling like this when we don't have it.
wow. In
But
that,
then
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. But then at the same time, it was just like at that point in time, we knew like if it wasn't her parents that had it at that age, we knew other people who did. So it was like it was either, it was always like a group setting.
Okay. Okay. So everybody pulled their resources together and bring something to the table, right?
Yeah, yeah, like you
Okay.
do
Okay.
this, you do this, you do that.
Yeah, 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 I get it. In those moments where you were realizing like there's something wrong, like I'm not supposed to feel this way, or this is a new feeling of not having it, and the feeling of feeling as if you're actually desiring it to the next level. Um, why do you feel you didn't use that moment to stop right then and there?
In all reality, I should have, but the reason, it's never a good reason
Yeah.
to use or anything, to continue to use. But at that point in time, I had lost my heart, which was my grandmother.
Mm,
So it was like, I don't know. I had kids at that point, but it was just, I love my babies, I love my kids, but that was my heart.
okay. I
My grandmother was my heart.
can relate to that because I know, my grandmother passing away broke me. So I can
Mhm.
certainly understand from that perspective of, losing the love of your life. Did so when it comes to your kids, because you had kids at that time, were there times that you neglected them for the drug?
Um, that didn't come until later
Okay.
when I transitioned from Percocets to heroin.
Okay.
That
I want it right there. That's a whole nother level. So
Mhm.
what is the difference in the high of a Percocet than the heroin high?
There's really none.
So are both of them uppers? Do they make you kind of chill out, or both of them hype you up?
So Percocet is an opiate, heroin is an opiate, fentanyl is an opiate. So they're gonna calm you down, they're gonna mellow you out,
Mhm,
as opposed to, like cocaine or things like that. That's a upper. That's gonna keep you up.
mhm.
And see, I've always liked to be mellow and chill. So, that was perfect for me.
Okay.
Until it started, you know, even though they are both opiates, a Percocet withdrawal and a heroin withdrawal, it is completely different.
Wow.
Completely different.
Well, we're going to circle back to that heroin, um, recovery or withdrawal.
Hmm.
What was the point, or when do you remember the point being that you said, okay, well, let me back up. I'm going to assume, did you try heroin because you were told it would make you feel higher, or was it something that you just decided to try? Like, what made you go from from the Percocets to heroin?
Heroin was cheaper.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so it was just that simple. The heroin was cheaper. At this point, you need to feel a high. Were you scared when you first did heroin?
Yes. Oh my Lord. My very first time, I was scared to death. I
Wow.
was scared to death because I was always, and I don't know why I had this mindset when I was young. It was always, I would try anything at least once. But I did know that the one drug that I didn't want to try was what my mom and my stepdad was addicted to, which was crack.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was just I don't know where that mindset came from, but it was just like I'm gonna try anything at least once. And that's not necessarily just for drugs, that's just in general. Like I would like to try,
Yeah.
different things in life.
Yeah. You're just one of those people that, hey, I mean, some people are like that about a lot of people are like that about food or
Hmm.
experiences. Like, so I can definitely, understand it from that perspective. How did you ingest the heroin?
So when I first started, I was sniffing it. And that was the same with Percocet. We would the Percocet pills, we would break them down, cut the lines out and then just sniff it.
Did you first start off taking heroin as a pill? I can kind of go back. I can kind of see how sniffing it would, since you like you said you all were in kind of a group. So if everybody took a pill, may not everybody might not be able to afford one pill. So you
Hmm.
broke them down and you snorted it.
Hmm.
Do you get higher quicker? Is the high different when you snort it?
It's a little bit different, and you get it quicker.
Isn't that something that even though it's the same chemical, you're just breaking it down into a powdery substance. It's still the same, but the high is even slightly different. And of course, as you just stated, it takes effect quicker.
Hmm.
What is the next way you started to ingest it?
So it was always just sniffing. No matter what it was, I always sniffed it. I never used needles or anything like that. Now, when I did switch from heroin to fentanyl,
Mhm.
with the fentanyl, I started smoking it.
So now we've moved on from heroin to fentanyl.
Hmm.
Is the high even higher with fentanyl?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. You said, oh yeah, with that one. So that takes you to Mars.
No, I'm gonna put it to you. Fentanyl gonna take you to death if you ain't careful.
Shit. Fuck Mars. We're going to death.
You going straight out
Oh man.
because you don't even have to. With fentanyl, you don't even have to touch it. You can just breathe that in,
Are you
and you could overdose.
damn? So it's that bad. They
Uh-huh.
actually give it in the hospital, but I guess, of course they monitor it and they give it to you in moderations, but still, like just the fact of that. And that's how people even, start off taking an opiate, from a lot of times in the hospital or from an injury, and then they end up addicted to this drug, which seems to be very easy to get addicted to.
And see, that's where the confusion came into place a little bit because when my transition went from heroin to fentanyl, I didn't know that fentanyl was being mixed in with the heroin.
Oh,
Yeah. So we would go to different people and different, dealers and things like that, asking for heroin, not knowing that it's cut with fentanyl. So when we started getting the withdrawals, it was like, wait a minute, this is different. Like this withdrawal feel very different than from heroin. And that's when we found out that it was no longer all heroin, it was just fentanyl.
and of course they're not telling you, so these drug dealers, and I can only assume that they're cutting it with that to make it expand more and it's probably cheaper.
And
So,
it's gonna make people it sucks saying it, but it's gonna make people keep coming back.
right, so you come back quicker because now, so that level of addiction, again, like you said, that's the death. I mean, so they're cutting it with that. That is actually kind of messed up because I mean, but to sell those drugs, I get people's reasons behind things, but I'm not going to sit and nobody can validate the reason of selling drugs to anybody. But I'm going to talk about the black community in particular.
Yeah.
To sell those drugs to our people, is fucked up. And then to cut something and you're not letting the drug addict know because they're still human. Your life is still you still have value. And so to cut that with something that I can assume I can assume that if one would overindulge in anything, of course you could OD, but it seems like that could possibly be quicker.
Yeah. Like you could with that with fentanyl, all you need is like a grain of salt.
Damn, it's that powerful.
It is that potent. Like I said, you don't have to touch it. You can breathe it in. It could get absorbed in through your skin. Like you do not have to have any kind of physical contact with it at all.
That's scary. With that being said, of course, I know when you're in active addiction and you're chasing a high, sometimes your thought process is completely off. And what could affect you, it's like you don't give a shit at that moment. You just need to chase or get that feeling back because you don't want to feel those effects of not having it.
Right.
Did you know fentanyl was that bad before you did it?
I didn't because I didn't even know nothing about fentanyl. I just always thought it was, around that time, I thought it was just heroin because that's all I was just used to asking for was, can I, well, I always called it dope, but, people call dope different things. Some people call dope weed and,
Okay.
things like that. But that's just what I've always called it. And when I, asked for that, I just assumed that I was getting heroin and that was it.
Shit. So you're getting addicted to, as we just said, I mean, you did say that you didn't know it was laced with that or cut with that, not laced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and cutting it means expanding it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have more.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't, when did you go and start doing fentanyl only and you left heroin behind?
That was in 2019 when my mom passed away.
At this point, how long are you in active addiction?
So my addiction started 2017.
So this
So up
is
to that point, 2019, that's what, 3 years?
2 years in. Okay, okay. And so you've gone within those 2 years from, of course, the perks to heroin, and now you're going to move over to fentanyl. Why? Why from heroin to fentanyl now?
Because the basically the same as why I moved from Percocet to heroin because it was cheaper, but then the fentanyl was also it was more powerful,
Yeah,
but it seemed to last a little bit longer, even though it doesn't.
yeah,
It's just like the illusion of, it because when you get high or when you sniff heroin or you sniff fentanyl, you you're not out. Like we could be sitting here talking right now. If I had just done a bag or something like that, you're gonna see me do this and just nod off.
I've seen that. And then the thing that's crazy about that, that will happen, and then could pick right back up in the conversation like you never left. That is the crazy part of seeing my experience with seeing dope fiends in the past. It's like you could nod off and then come right back and get right back into the conversation. So it's crazy because it's almost like you're there but you're not there at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
that is crazy to me. Oh my goodness. So that's crazy because with every drug it gets cheaper and treat cheaper, but the high is more intense the cheaper it is. That
Because
is
when
crazy.
it's crazy because when I was doing Percocets, now mind you, this is back in 2011. we were paying $1 a milligram. So if it was a 5 milligram, we were paying $5.
Mm,
If it was a 10 milligram, we was paying $10, and so on and so forth. So after a while, it's like that that's not holding, especially when you always with people
mm,
and y'all all do the same thing. It's not it don't hold.
jeez. What were you doing to get the money to keep yourself high?
So I've always worked. I've always had a job.
That's right. Okay.
Don't matter where it was at, what I was doing. I don't like sitting still. I can't sit still for too long.
Mm,
If I'm not out making money at my job or whatever what have you, I don't feel right because I don't like to ask people for anything, because the minute, not everybody is like this, but I feel like the minute that you ask somebody for something, they can't wait to go run and tell and be like, "Ooh, guess who? So and so asked me for this," and so I don't
yeah,
got time for that.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree with that. Early on, you mentioned when it came to your children. How many children do you have at this time now, from 17 to 19, during your one of your active addiction moments?
Okay, so I have three altogether.
Okay.
My son, he is 17. I had him when in 2008. So I was 14 going on 15 when I had him.
Okay.
My my oldest daughter is 14. I had her in 2011. And then my youngest daughter, she's 12, about to be 13. I had her in 2013.
Okay. So all of them have experienced you, of course, during that time. Do do you feel like it affected them, or that they are old enough, especially your, I think it was your son that's the eldest. Yeah, your son and daughter. Do you feel like they remember those moments that you were in active addiction?
No, because when I was, so around 2011, my son, he was what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 3. He was 3. And then my oldest daughter, she was just a baby. So they didn't really know what was going on, at that age.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I actually, I actually lost the rights to my oldest two
Okay.
because, CPS became involved. Not even for me. It didn't even have nothing to do with me. It was somebody else's situation.
That's messed up. Yeah.
But because, my kids were in the house
Yeah.
and I wasn't there, and, I was just going through that addiction, of course, everything comes into play now with me. The focus is still on them. They got their own thing, but now my focus is me because I'm using and my kids are here, but I'm not here.
Yeah. Understood. Understood. When
Hmm.
that happened and you were in addiction and you end up losing your kids, was that, do, do you look back and think I should have gotten myself clean right then and there, so that I mean, I don't know when you got them back, but do you feel like that would have been a reason to get clean at that moment?
It should have been. It should have been, but I can honestly sit here and say that it 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 just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and it didn't even have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
It didn't, because I didn't. My oldest two, I was actually forced by social services to sign my rights over
Mhm.
to my oldest two, and they got adopted.
Okay.
Now, I do communicate with them.
Good.
I do communicate with them. My youngest daughter, she was around 2017. She actually went and lived with her dad because of what was going on with me and the other two kids in social services.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, listen, my oldest two, they don't, all they got is me and their dad, and we're both in addiction.
Mhm.
I take our daughter because I do not want her in the system. It's bad enough that they're in the system, the oldest two. I don't want her in the system as well. So
Right.
until I get myself together, please just take her. Just take her.
Got you.
And he did. He did a good job for a while.
Look how you
Yeah.
just you doing that little gesture behind your head just made me think about your TikTok. And we're gonna get into that later, guys. Like because your TikTok cracks me up. Like just looking
Oh
at
my goodness.
you are hilarious. I mean, but you be spitting some facts on there, like the stuff that you say just has me dying laughing. How many times have you been clean?
So this will be number two. Because
Okay.
there was a little stint in there, but a little quick stint. So I
Yeah.
don't even count. I don't even count that one.
Is it really hard?
To get clean or stay clean?
Yes, yes, to get clean. Like, is it really as hard as I don't know, I haven't experienced it. Is it really hard as it appears to be?
No, it's really not. But we make it harder
Mm,
than what it has to be. Like when somebody doesn't, I feel like when somebody is in active addiction and like their family members or their friends want them to get clean, giving an addict ultimatums, it's not going to work because at the end of the day, they're only doing it for the ultimatum. They're not doing it for themselves.
yeah.
And it sucks to say, but if you are in active addiction, you are not going to get clean until you are physically ready. You have to physically be ready in order for it to work and to take it serious.
Mm,
Because if not, you're just going to keep going back. You're just going to keep going back. You're going to keep going back. You can't do it for your mom. You can't do it for your dad. You have to do it for you first. For you. And that was something that I had to learn. Even though my kids, hypothetically speaking, my kids should have been enough to make me quit, but they weren't. They just weren't. And that doesn't mean that I don't love them any less. It's just mom was fucked up. Excuse my language, but mom wasn't
that's for
right.
real. I get it. And I agree, completely agree with that because at the end of the day, anything that we do has to start with us. Like that is the one person that you're stuck with. Everything, everybody else can be gone and you're still going to be stuck with you. So you have
Mhm.
to do it for you first. And I just had an interview with a young lady last week, same topic. She's a recovering addict as well, and said the exact same thing as you did. Like it has to start with you. And that's crazy because I at one point I now definitely believe that. At one point, I would think, why weren't your kids enough? Like, I don't care about nobody else, but why aren't your kids enough? But at the end of the day, it's true. It has to start with you. When you first got clean, what made you go back? And I think you said it wasn't because it wasn't for you. And I can assume that now. Or is that the reason you went back and relapsed after the first time?
So after that first time, because the first time I got clean, I was clean for a year and a half.
Hold on. A year and a half, like you did it, like in my mind, you've done it. How do you go back after a year and a half clean to that?
So the first round was my grandmother passing.
Right.
That was the first addiction.
Mhm.
Then I got clean for a little while. Then it was I lost my stepdad, who was like my only true real father.
Mhm.
I lost him. And then my real dad came home from jail.
Mhm.
Been gone 12 years. Came home from jail. He lasted outside of jail for 9 months before he passed away.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah. And then the the straw that broke the camel's back, as you would say, was my mom passing in 2019. After that, it was just like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this. I
Meaning,
done lost
oh,
every like the sober,
yeah.
the sober like I can't do this. I can't. Everybody that I loved and that I know genuinely loved me is gone. Is gone. Not saying that my kids don't love me, but these are the people, regardless of what they had going on. These are the people who raised. This is who raised me. This is who raised me, and every single one of them are gone.
So
Every
that
single
was
one of
your
them.
validation. So that was your validation to do it right there.
I was through. I was through. And after my real dad's funeral, they had to make me go because I wasn't gonna go.
Hmm.
I wasn't gonna go. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was not gonna go. The same with my mom. I was not gonna go.
Didn't
They
want to
made
face it, didn't want to deal with it.
the hardest part about burying somebody that you love is watching that casket close.
Okay.
And I already had watched it once with my grandmother. So now I've got to watch it three more times.
Jeez. That was like a triple whammy.
Mom, or no, my grandmother, my
Step,
stepdad, my real dad, and then my mom.
jeez. Did your parents, either one of your parents, die from drugs?
So my stepdad, no, he didn't pass away from drugs. He had complications from diabetes.
Okay.
My mom, it's debatable. It's debatable because she okay, she was on oxygen. She had diabetes and she also had COPD.
Okay.
She lived with her boyfriend and he had went off to work this particular day. He had went off to work, came home, and when he came home, he found her. She was hanging out of the bedroom window trying to get air. Why are you trying to get air when you have oxygen?
Okay.
You have an oxygen tank.
Yeah.
So they called me. Um, I went to the hospital. They kept telling me on the phone, like, your mom had a heart attack. She had a heart attack. I'm like, okay. Get to the hospital, waiting on the doctors and all that stuff, things like that. And because she went so long, her boyfriend didn't know how to do CPR. He did what he could.
Yeah.
So because she went so long without oxygen, she ended up being brain dead.
Damn.
But she had cocaine in her system.
Did you think that she was clean?
I knew she wasn't.
Okay.
I knew she wasn't because my my mom would go. She would go back and forth. Like she would be clean for a while, and then she would go back for a little bit. Then she would be clean for a while, and then she would go back. Like it
Yeah.
was just a constant thing.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
I I asked them. I asked the doctors had called me, and they were telling me, basically she's brain dead. There's no chance. My only question to them was, did she have any drugs in her system? Because I knew she did. Already knew she did. And when he said, yeah, it was cocaine, my only my only thought was she had to have gotten something that was laced.
That's great. That's really, really messed up. And that's the thing about doing any drug at the end of the day when you're buying it from the street. Like you don't know, as you experience with the fentanyl and heroin, like you don't know what people are lacing this shit with. And they don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? They just want the money from you. And if you make it from that, you will be back. Because once you're addicted, like you don't even think about what that shit laced with. The high feel good.
That and that's it right there. It don't matter what's in it. If it's making me feel good and if it's making me not have to worry about what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with at the time, cool.
And that's a big thing that I hear, like with a lot of people. I almost want to say 99% of people that get addicted to drugs, you're literally running from something that you don't want to deal with. And it's that traumatic that you would let something in a lot of cases, you know what it can do to you, but yet and still you will still do it over and over and over again. And even get clean, sometimes even thinking it's for yourself, and still because you don't want to deal with that thing, whatever that is, you go right back to that drug. And the young lady I spoke with, Dinah, the other day that I had an interview, she said she made an analogy that you're literally in a relationship with the drug, like
Yeah.
it's her boyfriend, you know, and that is crazy, because I've never been through addiction, but then I understand it because it
Hmm.
is like that. Your stepdad, he die from an overdose or drugs rather?
No, no, no. My stepdad was he passed away from
I mean, not your
complications of
stepdad, your biological.
diabetes. Oh, biological dad. So he had his last stint in prison. He had a triple bypass surgery,
Yeah, okay.
but he had that wasn't his first one. He had had a couple of them the whole time that he was in.
Yeah.
So when he came home from prison, everything was cool for the first month, but for some reason he stopped he stopped peeing on his own.
Hmm.
I don't know what that has to do. Like I don't know if that's kidney or dialysis or what. But the call that I got was cardiac arrest.
Which kind of makes sense considering, with his heart.
Yeah.
With all of those deaths that you had to experience, that led you back down that path, knowing what that path looked like. Do Why didn't you fight that, knowing that that is not a good place to be in?
I didn't want to.
Well said. I mean, it is just as simple as that, honestly.
I mean, I could sit here and make up every excuse in the book, but I just, I didn't want to.
Which says that you consciously made that decision. Like, I don't care. I don't want to get clean, and I want to be in this place. How long have you been sober or clean from drugs this time?
I got clean January, Lord, June 24th of 2024.
Like you did say that in the beginning. So it's been over a year now.
Hmm.
What makes this time different since you have been down this road before?
So the last round of active addiction was the fentanyl. So it started getting worse with the fentanyl. Like I started losing weight everywhere. My face, body. Like I've never had an issue with losing weight before, but now you could physically see it. You could physically see it. And I had actually gotten my daughter back from her dad,
Mhm.
and I thought she didn't know. I thought she didn't know, but she knew all along.
Mhm.
And that right there was what made me be like, you know what? I'm done.
Now,
I'm done. I can't do this no more.
that's a good reason. I mean, because as you said, initially it wasn't taking a toll on you physically. Like the moment you could start see that physical appearance change, and the fact that your daughter knew, still, even though it was partially for her, because that's a big deal, it still became for you. It's funny, your reason was because of your physical appearance, though. So that was just enough to make you say, I'm done with this. But whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes to make it done is the biggest picture. But that's funny because it wasn't like nothing happened to you. Like I OD'd and it was like, this is it. It's like, all right, now, hold up now. When I look in the mirror, I'm not, this person that is the version of me. I don't like this version of my appearance. I've never heard that, which
It's
that's good.
And that was the main reason, but
Yeah.
it was also like I was tired. I was tired of running, and I was just tired of dealing with it. I was tired of having to wake up every day, if I don't have no money because I'm waiting to get my check, how I'm gonna get this and how I'm gonna get that. And it's just my daughter needs stuff. I need stuff. We got bills, this, that, and the third. So it's just like I can't. Like I can't. I've already lost my oldest two to the to CPS, to the state. I can't lose her. I can't. If I lose, and I already had it in my mind, if I lose her, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming back from this.
Meaning.
Like, if I had lost, like, if CPS had got involved this last time, and they had took her from me, I was going back.
To
I was going
drugs.
back. Yeah, I was going back because it's crazy, but it's like during active addiction, even though it's a crazy time, that's still like one of the moments where we have like the most fun. And I know that sounds crazy.
Mhm.
It sounds crazy because we're getting high on whatever we are getting high of. That should not be fun.
Mhm.
But it was like, I don't know, sometimes, not sometimes, but being high, no matter what it is, it gives you courage to do things you wouldn't do when
Mhm.
you were sober.
Right.
And that also started to play a factor in things. Like I started doing things that ironically should have put me in jail.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I did not go to jail.
Yeah.
So it was like it was just getting worse. It was getting worse. Like the things that I see everybody else do for drugs, the whatever. Now I'm starting to think with that mindset, like, oh, let me do this. Or I think I can do this and get away with it to get some money. So at that point, I was just like, nah,
Hmm. And
this,
although you were working, that's a paycheck that has to wait every week, every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. So now, you're seeing, like you said, other people around you, and you're starting to take that on. So, I mean, yeah, that's another thing. That's the peer pressure of having to deal with, because that's a sense of peer pressure as well. Just seeing that, the pressure, and you're chasing the high. So, there comes a point like you need it, like
mm-hmm.
even that I know with some people, because I don't know every situation, like, it's not even about a want anymore. It becomes a need because you don't want to feel the effects of not having it.
Yep. We go from doing it because it was fun to now you have to have it to physically get up out the bed every day.
Damn.
You gotta have it. You want to go to work today? Okay, well, I gotta find me something before I go to work. I don't care how
Yeah.
late I am.
So you can't even function without it. What are some triggers that you deal with that are a struggle for you?
Um, certain smells, like it's random. It's random. Like I haven't had none for quite a bit, but the last, few times I did, I wasn't thinking about going back, but it was just like that smell, like the smell that I smelled. I know it wasn't that, but it brought me back to that. So it was just like I could taste it and everything. It was just like, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
No, that's right. Which says that this time is your time. This time you got this. I mean, that's a trigger, and you overcame that trigger. That's like a clear sign that this, like you said, no more. This is it. And I believe that you got this. You are doing it. You have your daughter as your purpose, and of course you yourself. And apparently you're a woman that cares about her appearance. So I don't think you're going to go down that path again and allow yourself to look like that.
No, I can't because I was looking rough. Oh my Lord.
Nothing like a woman that care about how she look. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Not having this. That's good. I'm so proud of you. I pray that you stay on this path that you're on and don't let nothing come in between you and your new path that you're on. Do not go back to that. You've already been down that road. Time to take a new road. And I believe you're on that and you're going to stay on it. I have all the faith in you. What made you share your story on social media?
It so I struggled, I'm sure just like everybody else, with mental health, you know, mental health issues and things like that. So at some point I was just like, you know, I used to write when I was feeling down or just whenever, and then I would start it and then I would stop, and then I'm just like, what is, like, I gotta talk about this, like, somehow, some way I gotta talk about it. And I don't know, it was just, I just started recording the videos. I just started doing, because I'm on methadone.
Okay.
So every morning that I take my methadone, I record it. I record the process, and then, you know, I'll do a voiceover over top of it.
Of course,
But
I've seen it.
yeah.
Yeah. And so that is methadone that you take
Hmm.
in in a liquid form. Is it
Yes.
always in a liquid form? Does methadone come in a pill?
Yeah, I've seen people have it in a pill.
Okay. For
Hmm.
those that don't know what methadone are or is, I'm sorry, can you tell what methadone is or explain what it does and what it is?
Okay, so methadone it's medically assisted treatment. So in the beginning, you would go to a clinic and you would get your dose every day. Now, it is an opiate. It is an opiate,
Oh,
but yeah,
okay.
that's the only thing.
Okay.
It's an opiate, but it doesn't do the same thing that heroin and fentanyl does.
Mhm.
Like this, like, takes away the cravings and the, you know, the sickness and all of that. Now, methadone is not the only form of medically assisted treatment. You also have Suboxone, which, you know, can come in pill form, or you could get it in a strip form. You have the Vivitrol shot, which is a shot that you get once a month and you're good. But for the methadone, you go to the clinic every morning between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. You take your dose, and you have the choice to go up in milligrams if you would like to. If you feel that the milligram that you're on is not strong enough, like it's not taking away all of the, you know, withdrawal symptoms and things like that.
Mhm.
So right now I'm on 80 milligrams.
Is that high?
It is, but it's not.
Okay.
It is, but it's not. I know some people who are like like 100 and above.
Okay.
Now, am I gonna stay on this forever? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna stay on this forever because I want to be able to live my life without having to get up to take something.
Yeah, because now you're relying on something else.
I'm relying on something else,
So it's not
but
an addiction with that. It's
it's
just you're
not.
relying on it to get you through. Do you feel, and I know you were getting ready to add to what you were saying. I just don't want to forget the question because I'm getting old, guys. I just don't forget, do you do you feel your cravings, if you stopped right now, do you feel like there's a chance you could turn back?
No,
I know that's right. Okay. Not like that. Why you feel like you got this without it? And why do you continue to take it if you know that?
because my mindset is different than it was then.
Okay.
And part of the issue is because during that time that everything was going on, I wasn't taking accountability for anything that was going on. It was always somebody else.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play a part in it
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So once I started working on my mental health and taking accountability and, you know, talking about past traumas and things like that, it became easier.
I can understand that. It's almost like you free that if it was a child, if it was from childhood, it's like you have to let that individual go to rest. And now you can start to live your life as you are today and who you are. But if you don't deal with that, that's always going to be right there tapping, So I definitely agree with that. You went to therapy for that?
Yeah, I went to therapy.
So that,
I
oh,
know a lot of people don't, what I mean, got their own thing with therapy,
hey,
but
that's their damn issue. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Well, that's your damn opinion, because there was a time I was kind of like that, especially, and again, I can only speak from my experience in the Black community. Like, I mean, it goes back to slavery. Like, we didn't have that. We always had goddamn mental health shit, and you sweep that shit under the rug and you keep on moving forward, right? We got to be
Yeah.
tough. We got to be strong because we were made that way as a people. Uh,
Hmm.
but today I feel completely different about that. I like the fact that, and I feel that a therapist needs a therapist, but that's okay too. Because we all, this is it's hard to be a human and live in this world without, whether it be financial or any struggles that we deal with.
Right.
So I believe in therapy. I believe that they give you coping methods and tools, and then it's up to you to use those tools. But you said a big thing, just a huge word, which is accountability. I believe that is the starting point for everything, is taking accountability. And we can't control what has happened to us as a kid, but we
Right.
can control what we do moving forward and how we, our moves and the actions that we take. And if so you go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to go on a tangent right there because I believe in therapy.
No, you're you're fine. You're good. But yeah, a lot of people, and this I'm going back to this again. A lot of people really don't think that if you're on medically assisted treatment that you're not really clean. First of all,
Hmm,
fuck them. I don't give a fuck what they talking about.
okay, I'm with you.
I don't give a fuck what they talking about, what they saying, none of that. If this works for me, then this is what I'm gonna do.
That's the key for me.
And everybody's mental is different. Everybody copes in different ways. So it that whole spiel, I don't want to hear none of that shit because at the end of the day, what I do in my life is not affecting you. It's not affecting you. Why would I let it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's where all the videos came from because I feel like there's a lot of people who may have been in my shoes before and might need to hear what I'm saying or what I have to say, no matter what it is. That was the whole reason because my thing is ever since I got clean, I'm healing out loud. I'm not healing in
Ah,
silence no more.
yeah, I love that. I
I,
love
I can't heal in silence no more because I feel like healing in silence,
it's
it's
in
still
it's
keeping
hot.
you stuck.
Hmm.
It's still keeping you stuck. So the more I heal out loud, the better that I feel.
I love it. I love it. And with that being said, that was what made me invite you. I mean, I wouldn't have found you if I didn't see you on social media, but the fact that I did is the reason that I invited you because I love healing out loud. I love we never know who's out there that could be. There's always somebody that is going through what you're going through, in their own way, but there's somebody that's going through it just like you. And they're not able or don't feel strong enough to heal out loud or they feel as if they're the only one and they could be on the brink of giving up,
Mm-hmm.
but your story gives them hope and they know that if she did it I can do this too. So that's what made me invite you, which makes me so happy that you accepted my invite, because I find that to be a very strong woman. Not everybody can do that and stand on the forefront, and express themselves and be vulnerable because the internet is cruel because they're keyboard bandits or thugs as people say. They
Mm-hmm.
tear you down. But
And they will.
I believe it. I see it. It's ridiculous, but that's their problem because
Yeah,
it hasn't stopped you and it's not stopping you. And I promise you, you're helping so many people. So I implore you to keep doing what you're doing.
I am. I'm not stopping no time soon. I've done had so many people message me, please do not stop making your videos. Please, please don't. Like I love waking up and seeing your videos. I love scrolling through and just everything you talk about. I love it. And I'm just like, I didn't even know I was that. Okay.
How modest you are. I love it. Yeah, you guys, listen. She is hilarious. Like I said in the beginning, I mean, I just scrolled through her TikTok videos and I die laughing at some of the things that you say. But at the same time, it's like that shit is true though.
hmm I say the shit that nobody else wants to say.
Exactly. I mean, which y'all gotta check her out. Like, go follow her. I promise you, you're in for a good treat and a good time when you follow her videos. I'm telling you, or her page rather. She is hilarious. With that being said, will you please let everybody know your social media information so that they can find you?
Okay, so on TikTok it is Lovey Sober Tie underscore 92. So it's LOVEYSOBERTY underscore 92.
Correction. It's LOVEYSOBERTY 92. That's Lovey_Sober Tie 92. Go follow her. I'm laughing just thinking about some of the videos.
Oh, I'm finna do some more right now as soon as I go in the house.
And so it's a good time. Got
Uh-huh.
posting videos now. So, okay. Of course, this video isn't edited yet, but I'm going to edit it. And when you see this, go follow her, guys.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It was such a pleasure speaking with you. I got educated and schooled on a couple of things, and I always like to learn. So I think that you're a very strong Black woman. Stay in this fight. You got this. And I got one last question for you before I let you go.
Okay.
Will you promise to always spread peace and love in this world?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That ain't never gonna stop.
You know that's right, and I thank you for that. And once again, I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.